Hello everyone, Luke here. Welcome to my latest My Team video. Things are really starting to hot up now in the championship. We're back after the summer break. Just 9 more rounds to go, starting the final 9 with the Belgian Grand Prix around the historic Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And we're hoping to keep our amazing streak of podiums up as well. We've had 5 podiums now in the last 5 races, including a fantastic podium last time out at the Hungaroring, which didn't look too likely. At one point, you might remember it was wet halfway through that race. We were still stuck behind some of the midfield cars who were only doing a later strategy, who were pitting from a set of the medium tyres. We came out in 4th by the time the rain had stopped, and then Ocon and Hamilton both had to come into the pits for a second pit stop. Quite surprising, and that put us up into 2nd position in the race, which now means we're 2nd position in the championship as well, getting ahead of Valtteri Bottas. It is only Lewis Hamilton ahead of us now in the Drivers' Championship, and we are within a race win of the Brit. So technically, we could take the championship lead at the Belgian Grand Prix. To do that though, we're going to need to win. And I think we're probably going to need Hamilton to break down or have an absolute disaster on the strategy. That Mercedes looks like the fastest car. They've bought some upgrades to this race. We've bought some upgrades as well. A faster engine, better aero package. Our main aero upgrade failed, unfortunately, so that might compromise us slightly in the middle sector, but we do look very rapid in a straight line, it has to be said, around this circuit. Only the bus stop chicane to go now, just running a bit wide on the exit of the bus stop, trying to get on the throttle fairly early. We dropped down to 6th place there through the final corner, just went into a bit deep, but we're looking good in a straight line, and overtaking is definitely possible around here. There you can see we are 6th on the grid. Lost a few hundredths in that final corner, and that was enough to knock us behind Albon and Stroll. Nick starting in the top 10 once again, so there's definitely a chance of a double points finish here at Spa.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Stroll, Alexander Albon, and the owner driver. Verstappen, Ocon, De Vries, and Charles Leclerc. Ricciardo, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat, and Norris. Vettel, Sainz, they've taken a grid penalty. Kevin Magnussen, and Antonio Giovinazzi. Grosjean, Russell, Latifi, and Dorian Boccolacci. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Getting ready for the race and starting in 6th position. Should be a fairly straightforward one-stop strategy from the softs to the mediums. A few drivers might have to do soft to hard, so maybe we'll be faster in that final stint of the race, but let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can get another podium, and maybe, just maybe, a 3rd victory. Not a bad start to the race, and it seems like a gap has opened up on the outside line for us to get past one car, get past 2 cars, and maybe, just maybe, try and get past Sergio Perez as well. He's just got a bit more grip than us there, so we are going to have to sit in his slipstream for now, but that is not a bad thing, as we do get a bit squirrely coming over the crest of Radion, because now is the slipstream fest all the way down to a Lecombe chicane, and you can see there Ocon's getting pretty close to the back of us, and I think we're just about going to hold on to that position. So a very handy start to the race then, into 4th place. It looks like there's been quite a few moves further down. Stroll losing places obviously to Ocon. Ocon going from, I think it was 7th or 8th on the grid into 5th, so he's had a fantastic start to this race. Now though, it's just settle into a rhythm, stay in contact with those ahead, see what we can do when DRS becomes activated. We're up to 4th. Here we go, closing in on Sergio Perez. He's going to go to the inside, will take the gap all the way around the outside, bit late on the brakes, but a very straightforward DRS pass, and we're now up into 3rd position. And you can see already the Mercedes are just streaking away, a bit like what we expected, so maybe we'll have to try and undercut with them, maybe even an overcut, and just be quicker later on in the race. We're just going to have to try something different, but we're up into 3rd. Having to go very defensive pretty much every single lap here on Sergio Perez now to stop him getting back up into 3rd position. I can't quite break that 1 second window Hamilton and Bottas are just streaking away. Third place definitely going to be the best we can fight for today. And boy, are we going to have to fight for it. There we go, one and only pit stop done then. Heading out of the pit lane. We come out in 14th position, so we've got a bit of traffic not too far up ahead of us with Russell, Giovinazzi and some of the others. They've also gone for soft tyres, so they will be pitting, I'd imagine, this lap, so hopefully they'll get out of the way. We might be able to pull off a bit of an undercut on Bottas. He might fall slightly closer to us, as well as it was Hamilton that came in on that lap, but almost certainly we're still in a net third position. Now it's just all about seeing what we can do. On the back of George Russell, who is still yet to pit, this should be a fairly straightforward DRS pass once we get to the top of the hill. Using some ERS, he's actually got some pretty decent straight line speed here, so this might not be as straightforward as I originally planned. Round the outside we're going to go, and we do just about get that move done. So we're up into 4th, Kvyat ahead of us, still yet to pit, and then we're back into 3rd place, and it looks like Bottas did just about hold on to that lead. Could really do with those two Mercedes starting to battle each other to maybe, just maybe, bring us back into this race. Halfway through the race then, and everyone has made their one and only pit stop that we are expecting them to make. And you can see we've pulled away from Perez, we've got stuck behind Russell slightly, so we're about 3 seconds ahead of him. And Bottas and Hamilton just keep pulling away from us, so 3rd place pretty much certain now, unless we make any mistakes or there is any reliability issues for either of the Mercedes. Just got to keep your head down though, you never know what could happen. I've set personal best lap times on each of the last 3 laps, and still Bottas and Hamilton are just pulling away from me. This is a bit worrying for the rest of the season, especially next time out at Italy, another circuit that is extremely high speed, a lot of long straights, because they just look to have such a good package on circuits like this. We do look to have the measure though of all the other cars, so I think we know 3rd place is going to be the best we can do today. Barring any reliability, it's probably going to be the best we can do in Italy as well, unless we get some upgrades coming pretty fast. 5 laps to go then in this Belgian Grand Prix, and just a couple of interesting points to note. Firstly, you can see Hamilton is now in the lead of this race, and Bottas is dropping back quite a bit from Hamilton. We're talking about a second a lap he's losing, so whether he's made a mistake and damaged his car, as Ricciardo now retires from the race, whether Bottas has got some sort of car problem or he's damaged his car, or now that he's outside of DRS he's pushed his tyres too hard, I'm not quite so sure, but he's dropping back. Perez is starting to do what he did at Silverstone, where he just caught up to us towards the end of the race, and you might remember we had to repass him on the final lap at Silverstone, but I don't think it's going to get to that here, so just a few things to keep us busy and keep us pushing. Can't relax just yet, still in 3rd. Yes, final lap of what you could arguably say has been one of our quietest races yet in terms of on-track action. We made a good start, we got ahead of Perez as soon as DRS got activated. Yes, we had to defend from him a few times, but after we broke that 1 second window, it's just been a pretty standard race really. Not a lot of excitement for us because we're sort of in that no man's land now. We're quicker than the rest of the midfield and those who are challenging for podiums, as Jeff tells us that we're 10 seconds behind Bottas, as if there's any hope of us closing that 10 seconds all of a sudden in the final lap of the race. And we're just too far behind the Mercedes. There's nothing we can do to challenge the Mercedes at this moment in time. We are not quick enough, and unless we start getting some upgrades in quick and Mercedes sort of have a few failed upgrades or don't upgrade their car any further, we're not gonna be able to catch them, I don't think, for the rest of the season. This has been a bit of an eye-opener. Silverstone I thought was just down to Silverstone when we finished 3rd, I thought was just down to Silverstone, to be honest. We didn't look too bad last time out at Hungary, but here at Spa, Mercedes, whatever upgrades they've brought to their car have made a massive difference, and they are by far the best team. Once again, Hamilton sets the fastest lap on the final lap of the race. He takes the victory. Bottas will take second place, and despite Perez closing us up ever so slightly in the final few laps, we were still fairly comfortable to come home in third. Confirmation then that we finished in third place, and just look at Lewis Hamilton's fastest lap, 1.6 seconds faster than what I could manage. A lot of drivers seem to find some pace at the end of that race. I came home third. Nick coming home in 7th position. In the Drivers' Championship, I'm now 1 point behind Bottas, 34 points off the lead all of a sudden, extending our gap back though to Max Verstappen. It pretty much is a 3-horse race for the championship, and that's assuming that we can somehow find some more pace. Nick stays 14th in the championship, and we stay 4th in the Constructors. We are slowly though starting to catch up to Racing Point, just 40 points between us, so you never know if we get some upgrades at the end of the season whether we could close that gap. Now it's time for interviews with Claire, and I'm sure she'll be absolutely delighted with how we managed to do today.
You were cutting your way through the field during the race.
I'm gonna bump the chassis department up, as I think that's our weakest point in the car at the moment, is the chassis. That was a fairly short.
Well, that's everything.
That was a fairly short interview for a change. Third position then, not a bad result, and carries on this streak of podiums. We are now on 6 in a row. That is it then for this video. Next time around, it will be Monza, the Temple of Speed. Can we push ourselves closer to the Mercedes? Can we keep our streak of podiums up? You'll have to tune in to find out. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like and subscribe if you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time around. Goodbye.